All right, guys. So, all right, another day, another dollar. As it isn't as the kids say, because that's probably a mid 2000s reference there. But anyhow and anyway, I'll talk a little college football for about 10 minutes. I'll talk about all the results, for Saturday. So I got these damn allergies that make my voice a little bit hoarser than complete optimum voice. But I'll talk about the damn Oregon Ducks and I'll talk about all the results and put it all into one video. You guys can consume it for about 10 minutes and then I'll really get back to a lot of recruiting, or I'll formulate some individual videos and individual topics here as we continue to grow this channel, primarily for college football recruiting and then for a lot of Colorado videos and also for a little bit of NFL coverage. Yesterday, Ole Miss beats Texas A&M. Really just snapshot of this is that Ole Miss's offense is still pretty good. Lane Kiffin settled into a role where he's winning 9 or 10 games a year. He's taking Oxford and Ole Miss to a better place than it has been. So Ole Miss is looking good. Eli Drinkowitz, I got to give him credit. He's quirky. I didn't think that Jetfish or Eli Drinkowitz would really work. I just thought Eli's another Appalachian State guy, like even that Scott Satterfeld that's up in Cincinnati. He's a very average coach, in my opinion. But Drink this year, the offense is great. Schrader, Brady Cook, Lufer Burden. This stretch run game is fantastic. They've completely redone everything about the program, and they have a really good offensive system, and even their defense is aggressive. And that game against Tennessee this week is going to be a freaking war, and I'm very curious to see how it plays out. Because Tennessee also, like Josh Heupel, again, didn't know that it would work to this level, and he's taken the program, and Tennessee's in a much better spot as well. So Josh Heupel's doing a really nice job in Tennessee, really developing that program. But I'll talk about Oregon now. I mean, Oregon smashes Cal in the middle eight. They fumbled early on in that game. Bo Nix over 400, I believe, with 4 touchdowns and even some rushing touchdowns. Just a fantastic performance from Bo Nix, who's just been exceptional out at Oregon. This team is awesome. They win 63-10, and Dan Lanning is still, foaming because of penalties and because of really allowing Cal to hit some explosive plays on them. So I really like Dan Lanning in Oregon. Every week builds on the other. It's a physical team that plays balanced football where they can run and pass it. And it's just a team that's a joy to watch every week. Just the organization and everything that goes into each opponent. Oregon fans should be really blessed that they have Dan Lanning. Special coach, preparer, prepares the plan really well. So smart, just runs the program. It's so buttoned up, and the organization right now is humming. And you see, guys, Washington has warts. I mean, they give up 42 to USC. They're continuing the win, though, and Michael Penix is doing a phenomenal job. That offense, and even Kalen DeBoer, they're not going to be as good as Oregon every year. They're not as complete as Oregon this year, but they're sure going to have offense, and they're sure going to be good. USC is a couple of years away from being relevant. I mean, USC is a team that is just all offense, and Lincoln Riley is probably going to want to go to the National Football League. That's probably what Lincoln's going to want to do. But really, Oregon is the class. They're better than Texas. I mean, Texas, you see now with a backup quarterback. I mean, Will Howard's not even that good. Kansas State doesn't even have that much talent. They're coached really well, but Texas has 5 stars everywhere, a home game at noon, and you barely can beat a decent, really good Big 12 team. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. Like, Kansas State is as good as they'll kind of be, but they're not national championship good because they just don't get the recruits, honestly, or the transfer portal. So they're really solid. I wish that they would be great. They're going to need a transcendent quarterback to mask all the other areas in which they are good and coached up, but not just otherworldly talented. And Texas has more talent at the moment, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Texas is actually fantastic, but Malik Murphy makes a lot of mistakes. It's a home game, and Oregon's just a more consistent football program than Texas, but we'll have to see what the committee thinks. And maybe Oregon will go out there against Arizona State, and maybe they'll play a really close game, or maybe against USC, or maybe in the Civil War. But they can win every game by 2 or more touchdowns, even Washington and Oregon State to end the year. That's what I see happening. So I hope that the committee takes that into account. It was a good college football Saturday. Jalen Milroe, kind of that USF experience was such a stage in futility, but this Alabama team, I mean, finally you're seeing the offensive line come alive. The running back there, McClellan, is a total stud. Isaiah Bond is so damn fast, and Jalen Milroe has great speed, and Tommy Rees is utilizing really interesting run-pass option, and this team is right now humming on all cylinders, and Alabama's a good football team. They're damn good. I even think if Texas were to play Bama again with how Jalen Milroe was playing, I would love to see that rematch. I just think Bama is better than where they've been, and I think that Bama is ready. I think that they might even be ready for UGA, get a pass rush going, and I think UGA is a little one-dimensional right now with throwing the football. But Carson Beck is an elite quarterback in college football, and they got an elite one, and then they're going to get Dylan Raiola and continue to be elite at that position. But overall, I mean, what an interesting college football Saturday. I told you Oregon State would win, but they actually didn't cover. Colorado with a late cover again. Arizona's just a great program, and Jed Fish he should be up there for Coach of the Year along with Chris Kleiman. I mean, he gets the most out of the guys that are there. UAB with a big-time win. Southern Miss playing pretty well. Georgia Tech looking all right. Florida State continuing. And then how can we forget about Bedlam, Mike Gundy, and Oklahoma State as Oklahoma's leaving that conference? They win in Stillwater, and that means everything to the people of Stillwater. So overall, it's fun in college football. How about the job that Neil Brown's doing? Neil Brown going to keep his job. So there's so much really to talk about. You could be here all night diagnosing and discussing it, but it was a fun week. And those are my quick thoughts on the games, though, overall. Is that Texas didn't even look that great. Ohio State has major problems. They are not where they need to be. They do not have the offense this year to go and win it all, and even probably beat Michigan at Michigan. I don't think they have it, and we're going to see that with Kyle McCord coming up in that offense. So that's the way that we are, and you see how good C.J. Stroud is, and you're missing C.J. Stroud now. So that's that, guys. There you go. That's college football.